Hey, it's Maracuya. So I wanted to share with you a weird little story. First of all, my bunnies are running around. I have a Rex. He's like supposed to be a mini Rex, and then I have like a Netherland Dwarf slash Jersey Woolly mix. So I never really knew too much about rabbits, and I'm starting to learn about them, but I'm kind of slightly concerned because I saw my 2-month-old baby cute little cloud fluffy bunny like trying to do something inappropriate with the larger like 4-month-old Rex rabbit. So I'm kind of confused because when I was trying to check and verify the genders of the bunnies, I'm pretty sure like almost 100% she's a girl. And him, I couldn't really tell because he's so small and like baby-like. So the fact that he's trying to do little weird inappropriate things is kind of disturbing because he's too cute to be doing stuff like that. So whenever he sits, he looks like a little tiny white bread of loaf, like a little Wonder Bread, a little loaf just sitting there looking all cute and innocent and just incapable of doing such bad little things. So I'm kind of worried because I wanted to get the bunny, the female bunny spayed, since I think you're supposed to be getting them spayed around 4 to 6 months. So I was planning on doing that maybe like next week. So hopefully it's not too late. Yes. So anyways, I kind of wanted to touch on two topics today. One of them is trypophobia. If you know what trypophobia is, you and I are like on the same wavelength. If you don't, trypophobia, according to the journal called Frontiers in Psychiatry, the article here was called Trypophobia. What do we know so far? A case report and comprehensive review of the literature. So in this article, it was talking about a girl who suffered from a phobia to repetitive patterns known as trypophobia. The condition has not been recognized by diagnostic taxonomies like the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which is what's usually used to say like, oh, this person has depression, or oh, this person is, has ADD or whatever. It says trypophobia usually involves an intense and disproportionate fear towards holes, repetitive patterns, protrusions, and so on, and in general, images that present high contrast energy at low and mid-range spatial frequencies. It's often accompanied by neurovegetative symptoms, which I don't know what that is, so we'll be looking that up in a minute. Vegetative symptoms. It's saying that the patient also suffered from generalized anxiety disorder and was treated with sertraline, which is coincidentally what I take, because I take Zoloft. So, interesting. After she was diagnosed, she showed symptoms of both fear and disgust towards trypophobic images. After some time following treatment, she only showed disgust toward the images. And we finished a case report presenting, blah, 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 blah. So, anyways, it looks like, as well as with Trichotillomania, which is diagnosed at this time under like the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, trypophobia is not, because it's kind of new, or even if it's not new, it's something that's becoming more to light and still being studied. So, I did not know that trypophobia had a name. I did not know that other people like not suffer, that's kind of a really strong word, but for some people it is suffering. I didn't know that other people were like being affected by trypophobia to the extent that, I was. I didn't even know like it was a thing. So I'm going to kind of tell you when it started for me. I was in 5th grade and 4th grade. I had an amazing teacher. She was German. This was in Germany. She was so amazing, so sweet, so nice. Anyways, we were looking at like a history book and it was talking about dry, barren land. And then when it had an image attached to it, and the image had like earth that was like cracked, And the cracks were like kind of like big crevices, just kind of like how you would see like cracked clay or cracked floor. And I recognized that this image was just showing like dry earth. However, it gave me this weird chill all over my body. It made me feel sick. I felt disgusted, and I kept looking at that image like, what is going on? You know, I'm in fourth grade. I was actually really not a smart kid. I was super naive. I was super sheltered, blah 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 blah. Anyways, but this image, something about it was, something drew me to it, yet something repulsed me from it. So I kept looking at it, and I kept feeling repulsed. So it was like a very strange time in my life. So after that, I kind of started noticing that I really hate stuff that was like flaked or cracked or dry and things like that. I'm sorry, my rabbit was trying to like, oh shoot, he just peed. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So I tried to add a special effect in between, like when I was trying to clean up the bunny pee from my bed to now, but I can't really figure this thing out. I'm not really good at this. I'm just doing it because if you don't try, you don't know. So anyways, back to my story. Okay. So I kind of found out, like, I love going to Michael's, Hobby Lobby. I love doing crafts and things like that. So I went to, and by the way, just so you know, I'm procrastinating by doing this podcast and other things I need to be doing, because there's like a painting I have to finish. I have to do some stuff for my dad. I have to do some stuff for my husband. I have to like do some stuff with like, I don't know, like financial stuff. So I'm just like procrastinating, but this is where I want to be right now. I love to procrastinate. Or actually, I don't love it. But anyways, I'm off tangent again. Okay. So I love Michael's, and I love Hobby Lobby. And well, one day I was walking around looking at the plants, and then I see this like really disgusting, ugly looking dried flower, and it gave me the freaking chills. Like I got that weird chills feeling. I got that weird nauseous kind of sick feeling by looking at this thing. And you probably already know what I'm talking about if you have Trypophobia. And it was like a lotus pod. So like a lotus pod is maybe like the leftover or the carcass of a lotus, and it's dried. But what's disturbing about it, and I'm so sorry, like if I'm going to trigger you with this, I should have apologized earlier. Trigger warning for Tripophobia peeps. This could be disturbing. So I'm so sorry. So you might want to like stop this, whatever. I'm sorry. But I have to talk about it because it's part of me that's like a weird thing. But so it looks like it's kind of like a lotus pod. Looks kind of like maybe like, I don't know, like UFO shaped or like a U shape. I don't know, like a flower or something. And it's kind of smooth, but the top is filled with like holes. But the holes have like some stupid, nasty, I don't know, like ball or seed or something coming out of it. And it kind of looks like eyes, like a bunch of eyes. And I just, just honestly talking about it right now is just giving me the chills. Like I hate those flowers. And I know I shouldn't hate things. I know I shouldn't highly dislike things, but I hate spiders and I hate lotus pods at Michael's. I cannot stand to look at them. And the bad thing about Tripophobia is like, you want to keep looking though. It's like, and I kind of looked it up. I'm like, why do people that have Tripophobia kind of like keep looking for that feeling? So from what I was reading in this journal, it looks like Tripophobia is like a response to fear. And it says, fear is the normal response to danger, while phobias are characterized by excessive, unconscious, and persistent fear that constantly trigger anxiety. So, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, phobias, receives the name of specific phobias according to their trigger. So in this case, trypophobia is a repulsion or fear of a pattern of holes, which is about right. And for a little trivia, the word tripa is Greek and it means drilling or hole. So like hole phobia pretty much is how if you use the Greek terminology, it's hole fear. So yes, I have a fear of holes, but usually like for some reason honeycomb doesn't really do it for me. Maybe unless there's like bees coming out. Ooh, that just made me feel disgusting all over again. Ugh, I don't know. But it's saying that right now people who suffer from it, it's mostly through communications like social network and personal blogs. So I would say that this podcast is kind of like a personal verbal blog that you're listening to. Interestingly, here it says there was a case of an infant who suffers from trypophobia. So it says that, I didn't know babies could have that. Like I literally just found out about it when I was in 4th grade, only because I felt it. I didn't know what it was. I think the aspect, so I don't know if you know about ASMR videos, but ASMR videos are, like these videos that when you listen to them, your head's supposed to tingle. Kind of like, when you've heard like a really amazing song and how your head tingles like on the top of your head and it feels like you feel it, like it kind of gives you a good feeling of a good shiver. You feel like good chills. I don't know. It's like comforting in a way, but tingly, like kind of like exciting, but in a weird skin way. So for some reason, trypophobia gives me that feeling, but with a huge side order of disgust. So it's almost like I like that feeling of the tingly, but I don't like the feeling of repulsion and disgust. So what people who listen to ASMR videos, I forgot what that stands for. I'm so sorry. But it's like these videos where people are talking like in whispers, like in whispers like this. And then people listen to it and they like it and it makes them feel something called the tingles. And usually in these videos, that's how the people talk. Like there's this, I don't know where she's from, like maybe Middle East or Asian girl. I'm sorry, I don't know. But she's really pretty though. And she talks like today we're going to do your shampoo or something like that. I don't know. But she talks about like that she's a flight attendant. She's a shampoo person. I don't know. And she has like a bunch of like little props and stuff that she uses. And her videos are like really well done actually. So she gives people the tingles. I wanted to have the tingles too because I'm like, I want what trypophobia gives me in regards to tingles, but I don't want the repulsion. How? For some reason, like I've tried so many ASMR videos, I cannot get the tingles. I don't know why. Like I know I'm capable of it. You know those weird things like that look like a weird head massager? I get tingles from that. So I want something I can listen to or look at that gives me that feeling, kind of like songs, but songs do it once in a while. Sometimes there's like a song that just pulls at your heart so hard that your body responds and your scalp kind of like tightens or something. I don't know what it is that happens, but and it's kind of hard. It's kind of weird talking about this because like you might understand and you might not. If you understand, you're like, oh my gosh, she gets me. If you don't understand, you're probably like, oh my God, she's weirder than I thought. And she can't talk. But yeah, so I'm sorry, I had a total brain fart. I had a total brain fart right now. ASMR. I think because I like totally went on the tangent of ASMR. That's kind of my problem. And if you know me and listen to this channel, you know that's my issue. And people in real life know this is kind of an issue too. But ASMR, trypophobia. Okay, trypophobia. So it's kind of interesting though that it looks like trypophobia is getting more attention. There's actually a group on Facebook for trypophobia people, and people try to avoid triggers. So they just kind of talk about things like it's kind of like a place for people who are affected by it to be like, oh my gosh, I was just triggered. I don't feel well. Maybe so other people can be supportive, because like if now that I know it exists, I don't feel weird about it anymore. Like it's not just me, it's some kind of fear response, which I still don't understand. It's saying here that a girl at the age of 9, which is probably what age I was, I don't know, maybe, or earlier, It says the patient consulted a psychiatrist due to her physical complaints about abdominal pain and nausea. The psychiatrist attributed them to be caused by her parents' divorce, diagnosing her with separation anxiety disorder. So they gave her 50 milligrams daily of sertraline or Zoloft for 6 months, so it had a positive response. So in that one, it's saying that her mom also suffered from anxiety disorder. So that's interesting. So it's definitely attached to anxiety somehow. I guess in this case, the mom, or like there was a 12-year-old female, and the mom said that the daughter's having discomfort observing like surfaces and objects of some kind. And the patient was like a smart patient. So a lot of times with like super smart kids, I know there's some anxiety. I'm sorry I'm saying so much. I need to stop. Sorry. Okay. There's some anxiety attached to trying to outperform others, trying to be the best, trying to make your parents proud, trying not to get bad grades. I remember when I was in 5th grade, yes, I think 5th grade, 6th grade, there was a girl and she was, I think Samoan, but she was so smart. And I remember she played the piano, and I remember feeling so dumb in comparison to her. Like, put it this way, in band, they gave her like a piano solo, and I got to play the triangle, like, and I didn't even play the triangle well. I was probably like off cue and stuff. Anyway, oops, I said it again. I said again. She was so smart, but her parents were like, if she got a B or did really poorly, they would beat her, they would spank her, they would, she was set to like this high standard. And yes, kids are super resilient, and kids are pushed, really hard to these like levels and where the parents want them to be, but sometimes it comes at a price, and anxiety is one of those prices. And I know for sure now I have anxiety. When I was younger, I didn't know what it was. So it looks like so far anxiety has not only affected me with trichotillomania, but also with the trypophobia. Now, it seems like people that are, I see. It says such fear was always associated with neurovegetative symptoms like increased heart rate and breathing rate and choking and nausea and dry mouth, agitation, sweating. And some people said that they even experience fear during daily activities, like looking at sliced or seed-covered bread or certain kind of cheese or clothes with polka dots or animal print. And then like this mom said that her daughter desperately escaped from the bathroom right after seeing that the concrete walls were perforated, but they couldn't explain it. Or the daughter, like, when she saw, like, an empty honeycomb cells, she started crying, even though she was never had a fear of bees in the past. So, again, if you're triggered by repetitive patterns, you probably have trypophobia. And it seems like sertraline could help. And I say that because when I was Googling some information, scientific information regarding trypophobia, I accidentally just Googled trypophobia, and when you Google it, images appear, and of course it was that stupid lotus that I freaking hate. That's like the ugly child of trypophobia, is that lotus pod. It's so triggering, and I saw it. And it was disturbing, but it wasn't to the extent of like before where like it gave me like severe tingles. It only gave me like slight tingles. So I didn't feel like fear. I felt like shocked, surprised that I saw it and I wasn't expecting it. So just so you know, every time I go to Michael's or something, I always avoid like that part of the flower section. It's just still off limits. I don't think like exposure therapy in that case would work, because I did try it on myself, like looking at images. Ew. Trigger warning. Warning. There was one about like frogs. Oh, never mind. I can't talk about that one. That was ugly. Frogs. Certain frogs and how they give birth. Ooh. Sorry. So anyways, that's kind of a little bit about trypophobia. And again, I started off with Zoloft 50 milligrams, but not because of this. It was mostly because of something else, like my boss last year, but that's a whole nother thing. I'm better now though. So now I'm at 200 milligrams. I feel good. I don't feel like severe anxiety or any kind of physical harm now. I don't think I have any kind of obsessions, compulsions. In fact, even before Zoloft, I was kind of like obsessive compulsive when it came to certain things, like, I'm just gonna say it, checking my husband's phone, being like super paranoid. And sometimes I do it now, but it's not like a complete need or like, I don't know. I'm just, so many issues. But yes. So anyways, now in regards to the other subject that we were kind of talking about, procrastination. It says, I was looking at a journal article that's called Frontiers in Psychology. It's called On the Behavioral Side of Procrastination, Exploring Behavioral Delay in Real Life Settings. And the author is Frode Svartadal, Sigurd Granmo, and Fredrik Färjövik. Sorry, I can't say those. I don't know if they're like Swedish names or... I'm so ignorant sometimes. I'm sorry if I botched your name, if you're listening. So it's saying, I guess this paper was examining how procrastinators behave differently from non-procrastinators. So now they did like scientific studies, and they wanted to see what were the possible mechanisms responsible for such delays. And so it says, procrastination involves unnecessary and unwanted delay, be it decisional, implemental, or lack of timeliness. So, procrastination can be seen as irrational behavior, delaying some intended course of action, realizing that it's disadvantageous. Sorry, said that wrong. That's kind of interesting. So I guess they're trying to see if there's like some scientific reason why people procrastinate. And for me, like, maybe if I think about it, I procrastinate and leave things at the last minute because I don't like doing them in the now. But I do kind of panic when I start procrastinating. However, that panic kind of gives me like a weird little rush. It's not adrenaline. It's kind of like a rush of knowing I have to turn it in, so I have to work harder. And this has been my whole life. I've always been that way. So I'm wondering if this article kind of talks about that rush, but I'm really not sure. I have to see. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So I did find something. It says that from Chen and Chang, 2016, they said, analyzing procrastination from an evolutionary life history perspective, it argued that the procrastinator lives by a fast life strategy with a psychological time orientation on the present. Such a fast life strategy has been functional in unpredictable environments during evolution, fostering impulsivity, high risk-taking, overlooking consequences, and discounting the future. However, as contemporary life emphasizes planning, personal control, and accountability, boring, just kidding, a fast life strategy has become maladaptive. So they say procrastination is closely linked to impulsivity, according to Gustavsson van Erd. With a preference for instantly gratifying options rather than more beneficial long-term goals. Such a preference is associated with negative consequences that make habitual procrastination maladaptive. So procrastination is associated with a number of adverse states and problems like increased stress, lower task performance, reduced well-being, regret and suffering, risk of mental and physical illness. And impulsivity suggests a preference for immediate outcomes, but procrastination is characterized by delay. So that's kind of interesting. So I guess, honestly, I would say I am kind of a risk taker. Not like in the way of like adrenaline or jumping off a plane or skydiving or anything like that. More like if I want to go into something, I want to be like both feet, I I want to take risks. Like if someone were like, hey, let's move to Central America and start, I don't know, like open up a practice there for psychology. I'm like, yeah, I'm there. Let's do it. I'll leave I'll leave everything, well, I'm kind of older now, so I'm not as impulsive as I used to be, but I really quite was. And it's true, I do live in the present in a way, because I guess for me, the way I see it is this: the future is unknown, the future is not promised, the future is in God's hands. I do want to be responsible for the future, because I know the Bible talks a lot about like if it's talking about someone that's sowing some seeds and someone that's reaping what they sow. Hopefully I said that right, but I don't know. Like, I don't like the thought of putting all your eggs only for a possible future that might not exist, or a future that you're imagining that may not happen. And I like to live in the now. I like to enjoy my moments now. And I suppose that not thinking long term, like my husband, he's always like accusing me of, like, every time I want to buy something, example, I told my husband, like, hey, we should get like a little bunny castle, and the bunnies might like it, like a little wooden thing. I can even make it. He's like, no, you just like wasting money. And I'm like thinking in my head, what? And I was thinking, I don't like wasting money. It's just like, I want to make the bunny life more interesting, more fun, give him something, But when someone says like that, like, you just like to waste money, you're kind of thinking, okay, but it's, I don't know, like, I get it, saving money for the long road ahead, for retirement, for when you're old. I'm one of those people that I always told myself, I won't live past the age of 21. Like, I couldn't imagine life beyond 20. I thought for some reason that I was going to die young. I thought for some reason I maybe was not worthy of living, or I was too dumb for life, or something like that. Like, I had so many bad notions about me and who I was and my capabilities and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So the article kind of goes talking about procrastination and like stimuli of the brain. So it says behavioral delay may occur because the cost of performing it now seems higher than performing it later. So maybe that makes sense too. Like, right now, if I were to do it, but I know deep inside my head, if I did my stuff right now, I know that later I'm gonna be okay. Like, yeah, I did it. I don't know. Procrastination is like a really difficult thing. It says a related and probably more important mechanism in avoidance of aversive tasks, preventing the occurrence of negative feelings, stress, and other forms of aversive states, resulting in avoidant styles of functioning. So it's kind of saying that I'm trying to prevent bad feelings now and kind of like saving them for later. So like right now, I don't want to feel burdened with the financial stuff I got to take care of. I don't want to feel burdened with the stuff I got to do for my dad. I don't want to feel burdened with the chore, or like even with painting. I love painting, but I have to take all the paints out. I have to get the brushes. I have to find the brushes. I have to get some water, paper towels, set everything up here. So it's like all this mentally hard work, just even thinking about it is, like for the other tasks, I have to open the computer. I have to see if it's charged. I have to wait. I have to mess around with the mouse. I have to wait for the page to load. I don't have like I'm not like an iPhone, iPad kind of person, so I have an Android. But anyway, so not everything is like fast speed DeLorean for me. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, I guess. The only thing with procrastination is just being able to force yourself to do something. Like after this, I'm telling myself, oh, I need to do these things. But then I'm also like, well, I still got to do the other podcasts. And because doing the podcast is more enjoyable, I'm going to probably end up doing those when I really should be doing the other things. Yeah, so you kind of see the problem of procrastinators. It kind of makes it hard to be successful. It makes it hard to be a long-term planner. It's not something that I don't want to be like this, but I do want to avoid the negative aversions and the negative feelings that come now about doing those boring tasks, I guess. So anyways, I think I talked enough for today. I do have things I need to do. And I really, 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 really hope that I do them and that I'm not just saying that I'm going to do them, which is something I'm notorious for. But I want to be responsible. I want to be a responsible 35-year-old in this very fast-paced, future-thinking world. This sad little present girl that I am. Yes, so thank you for listening. I hope you learned something today. I hope you like the little, the science stuff, because I kind of like some science stuff. I like research and things like that. So I have a lot of things to share and read and whatever. Oops, sorry, I hit myself. Please don't think it was a fart, because it wasn't. Like, I hit my thigh with my hand like that, see? Oh, gosh. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm done. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.